heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something in the old fort near Riftland. Might consider joining up myself.
They say that vampires attacked the Hall of the Vigilant. Burned it to the ground. Never heard of vampires doing anything like that.
Seems like no one is getting a decent night's rest in Dawnstar, stranger. Best buy your steel and move on.
Maybe after the baby is born, we should move to
Nightmares?
Hammerfell.
I haven't met a single man or woman who doesn't admit to having bad dreams I can handle. But everyone having the same bad dream every night? It's a curse, I say. I hear there's a priest of Mara visiting the inn. Maybe the divines will cure us. My wife Sarah and I run it together. She's still Smith's even though we found out she is with child. Our son or daughter isn't going to get much Redguard culture here in Skyrim. I know my wife worries how she will pass along her traditions. Hey, if you find a book called Night Falls on Sentinel, could you bring it to me? It's a story from my wife's people. Be good to have. Good on you. Hi, I've worked on a few moorings here and there for it. Most of the ship captains are superstitious about who works on their vessels, though. And Dawnstar is known for its bad luck. We're the last port of call before Windhelm, and the ore we trade makes rich targets for pirates. Take a look. Come back if you need steel.
We're one of the same kind, you and I. If that is what you wish. Let's go.
I can't believe Silas. The finest weapons and armor. Until next time. Seems like no one is getting the finest weapons and armor. All right then.
It's good to hear you. They say the college has been snooping around sorts as simple as you. Mages in...
I'll just take that as a compliment.
No good can come from that.
Lady Mara will save us from these nightmares. You'll see.
What is it? I haven't had much sleep. That would be Skald the Elder. He's been running Dawnstar ever since he was a boy. And he never lost that brat's attitude. Turned on the Empire first chance he got. Now we're all part of this rebellion. I'll buy everything you've dug up. If you don't mind digging, I own the Quicksilver Mine. It's a better life than working in that damned Ironbreaker mine with all those milk drinkers.
If I get any rest soon, I'll count myself Richard in it. I mine. Worked the smelter. Ain't much else to tell.
You've come to Dawnstar at a strange time, friend. Seems everyone in the town is having nightmares.
Ancestors wouldn't want this, Silas.
Why should I hide from it? This is my family's legacy.
It's the past. Dead oaths on dead lips. Let it stay there.
The museum is opening, Medina.
I beg you, don't go into Silas's museum. Silas comes from one of the oldest families in Dawnstar. They have a complicated history. Several of his ancestors belonged to the Mythic Dawn, the cult that almost destroyed Tamriel. His family's involvement was only found out well after the crisis had died down, but it still ruined their reputation. They were outcasts. And now Silas is back, and this museum to the Mythic Dawn is his way of trying to rebuild his family's pride. It's misguided. Not a student of history, I see. It's for the best. They're a group that should be forgotten. The only thing you need to know is that they almost destroyed the world, and they were stopped a long time ago. That museum is a mistake.
And here comes my first visitor. The Museum of the Mythic Dawn is open, friend. Yes, my collection of artifacts from a group that toppled an empire. Why don't you come in? You can browse the displays and we can talk. I have a job you look perfect for. Let's talk inside. Feel free to look around. Come talk to me when you're ready to discuss that job I mentioned. Those robes were worn during the Mythic Dawn secret meetings, where they plotted to bring the Daedra Mehrunes Dagon into Tamriel. Each bolt of yarn used to make the robe was colored with a dye, made from sacrificial blood. Ah, yes. That scabbard. Notice the insignia? An Oblivion Gate. A key symbol of Mehrunes Dagon, the patron Daedra of the Mythic Dawn. The commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes were written by the Mythic Dawn cult leader, Mankar Camoran. He promised a paradise awaited his followers when they died, that they would be reborn by Mehrunes Dagon's side. That burned paper is all that remains of the fabled Mysterium Xarxes, the blasphemous book written by Mehrunes Dagon himself. It's said that Mankar Camoran used the book to open a portal to a paradise, where all his followers would live forever. Did you have any questions about the museum, or would you rather talk business? It's no secret that my family were once members of the Mythic Dawn. One of my forefathers was even chosen to assassinate Uriel Septim himself. We hid from our past for years, became tradesmen, people of coin and influence. But I realized that the Mythic Dawn's importance, our importance, to history cannot be denied. I'll see everyone in Tamriel remember that for a moment, we held the fate of the world in our hands, for good or ill. They were worshippers of Mehrunes Dagon, the Daedric Lord of Destruction and Change. The Mythic Dawn killed Uriel Septim VII and his heirs, triggering the events that led to the Oblivion Crisis when the Daedra invaded Tamriel. All that remains of the infamous cult I've gathered in my museum. Ah, an excellent question. Mehrunes Dagon is the Daedric Lord of Change, Destruction, and Ambition. Dagon's Mythic Dawn cult killed the Septim dynasty and opened the Oblivion Gates into Tamriel. They called it the Oblivion Crisis. A little history first. After the Oblivion Crisis, a number of groups cropped up dedicated to wiping out the remnants of the Mythic Dawn. One of these groups found Mehrunes' razor, the artifact of Dagon. They split it into 3 fragments and pledged to keep them apart forever. That was almost 150 years ago, and the pieces are still being kept by the descendants of that group, and they're right here, in Skyrim. At least 2 of the owners, Gunzel and Draskua, are dangerous marauders, and the 3rd owner, Jorgen, I only know he lives in Morthal. Here are my notes about them. I'll gladly pay you for getting the pieces any way you can. No questions asked. The razor is Mehrunes Dagon's personal artifact. It has always heralded bloody change and carnage. It's held many names. Dagger of the Final Wounds, Bane of the Righteous, the Kingslayer. The Mythic Dawn worshipped Dagon as a god. Having his razor would be invaluable to my collection. Good luck finding the fragments.
Hands to yourself, sneak thief. You should talk to Rustleaf. Get some proper steel. Divine sakes. Who do you think was right?
Iron Break. You're wrong to come here, stranger. No rest in Dawnstar. That would be Jarl Skald the Elder. He's over in the White Hall, probably talking about Ulfric like he's the second coming of Talos. I own Ironbreaker Mine. We make twice as much coin as those horkers over in Quicksilver Mine. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I pay a good wage for any iron ore you dig up, if you're looking for work. Until next time.
You will lead us to Viktor, as you always have. with you by my side. Is that right, Hork?
Of course. I would have it no other way.
So much for old soldiers settling down to a life of luxury, eh?
Watch your hands around the legate.
I'd be a lot warmer
You come to
and a lot
Dawnstar at a
happier
bad
with a belly
time.
full of meat.
Tempers are fiery. Skald supports Ulfric's rebellion, and he doesn't like having a couple of old legionnaires living in his town. He's a fool. A dragon has attacked Helgen. Dawnstar needs the Empire now more than ever. Drowning your troubles in mead? A lot of folks are doing that these days. You'll want the Wind Peak Inn. As for work, you could try to catch Skald in a good mood, but your best bet would be working in the mines. They're on opposite ends of town. Stay out of trouble now.
By the divines, I'm tired. Just a servant of Skald the Elder. Not worthy of time or consideration.
Unless you're here to solve this nightmare problem, I don't need you. Oh, the Stormcloaks are destined to win this fight. Talos is with us, and when you fight under a divine's blessing, victory is assured. Dawnstar has a history of being the site of battles that have crippled the fate of the Empire. I hope this remains true. The only reason dragons are attacking is because Talos is angry with us for turning our backs on him. As soon as we drive the Empire out of Skyrim, the dragons will vanish. Mark my words. Don't bother me again unless it's important.
The Jarl is tired. Be mindful of that.
Skald.
Hey,
If
Unblooded.
you don't mind, sir, I have a request.
We'll show those faithless dogs who this land
Have a
belongs to.
request of me.
Can't sleep. I'm no one special, just a miner who swings a pickaxe for his drinking money. Betel thinks I drink on the job. Well, what does it matter?
These dreams are real, I tell you. Real. Lady Mara will save us from these nightmares. You'll see.
You mean Hildolf the school splitter? Remember when we rounded up the townspeople and dragged them out of that cave?
Those were the days. I'd never seen my husband fight so bravely before.
Need a room? Don't worry. Nightmares don't seem to happen for travelers. Here, take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left this bounty letter.
No, not that it's any of your business.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
What troubles you, my son?
Frost.
All right, then.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
He was a good man.
Yes, sirrah. The entire town is being plagued by horrible nightmares. They're in serious danger, but I'm afraid there's little I can do about it.
I tell you, the Dragonborn comes with a voice-wielding power of the ancient Nord art.
These dreams are manifestations created by the Daedric Lord, Vermina. She has an awful hunger for our memories. In return, she leaves behind nightmares. Not unlike a cough marks a serious illness. I must end her terrible influence over these people before the damage becomes permanent. I need to return to the source of the problem, to Nightcaller Temple. Perhaps you'd be willing to assist me in that regard. I've already said too much. If anyone overhears what we're saying, it could start a panic. I would simply ask that you trust me and help me end Dawnstar's nightmares. Wonderful. My Lady Mara will be quite pleased. Nightcaller Temple is only a short walk from Dawnstar. Come, we must hurry. Vermina resides in a strange realm known as Quagmire, a nightmarish land where reality shifts upon itself in seemingly impossible ways. From her citadel at the center, she reaches forth to collect our memories, leaving nothing in return apart from visions of horror and despair. Who can say? Perhaps she collects them for display like works of art in a nonsensical art gallery. Whatever the case may be, her intentions are far from benevolent. I promise to answer all of your questions. Follow me.
Frost took my husband years ago. My children all grew up and left Dawnstar to make their fortune.
Follow me. It's this way. It feels good to finally have a chance to help these people. Helplessly watching them suffer has been difficult. Tower on that hill. Destination. Around here. Tower of the Dawn. Tower system. Was deserted.
And weapons, all for sale at fair prices. So many refuse to talk to us. They call us thieves and smugglers. Take a look. May your road lead you to warm sands. It can't be. My soul.
By the gods, I don't even know what to say.
Silence will serve us well in this place. Let us take our foes by surprise.
Before we enter, I must warn you about the dangers that could be lurking within. Years ago, this temple was raided by an orc war party seeking revenge. They were being plagued by nightmares, just like the people of Dawnstar. Years ago, This temple was raided by an orc war party seeking revenge. They were being plagued by nightmares, just like the people of Dawnstar. No. Knowing they could never defeat the orcs, the priests of Vermina released what they called the Miasma, putting everyone to sleep. I'm concerned that when this place is unsealed, the miasma will dissipate and they'll awaken, both orcs and priests alike. The miasma was created by the priests of Vermina for their rituals. It's a gas that places the affected in a deep sleep. Because the rituals would last for months or even years, the miasma was designed to slow down the aging process. Sadly, yes. The longer an individual is exposed to the miasma, the more the mind can become damaged. Those who've been under the effect of it for extended periods of time have been known to lose their minds entirely. In some cases, a few never awoke at all. Once we get inside, all